Gloria Strode, and welcome to Straightforward. Today is a very special treat for me. My awesome, beautiful, and brilliant great niece, Charity Hardnett. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You are amazing. I tell you, you're a scholar.
Yes, ma'am.
You're an athlete. And you've always worked in the ministry.
Yes, ma'am.
You really kind of was born into it. So your dad, your grandparents, you know, you came from a family where people grew up in church.
Right.
Right. So you came up with your own project.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're trying to give back, independent of all of the ministry that your family does.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is that project, and how are you changing the lives of young women?
So I recently started a project called Point Blank Period, and it is to give feminine hygiene products to women who are in need of them. And period poverty is the lack of access to feminine hygiene products because of financial restraints, and that affects a lot of women here in our community, because here in Columbus, the poverty rate is 21.7% of the population, and the demographic that is affected the most by poverty here in our community is African American women. So I just wanted to give back to women and African American people, because those are the people who are most affected by poverty in our community and in our nation. You
sound like you work for the Census Bureau, because you know they're the largest collective data in the world.
Yes, ma'am.
And so that is census data.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's the data that's used when nonprofits like yourself write grants to try to address the needs of those that's less fortunate in the community. So the poverty rate is something that you looked at.
Yes, ma'am.
And then what the demographics. So you're primarily looking at African Americans.
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't it something when you realize that you actually had young ladies and then women that could not either go to school or to the workplace because they could not afford the feminine hygiene products?
Yes, I mean, it's a huge problem, because education is a very big opportunity that I believe no one should ever take for granted. And so 1 in 5 girls globally miss school each month because of their menstrual cycle. So I just wanted to make sure that I could impact women locally so they don't have to miss school, like a process opportunity such as education.
I mean, that is so well beyond your years, your wisdom, your maturity.
Yes, ma'am.
No, to understand that. Oftentimes people think, well, this person just missed school because they didn't want to go to school.
Right.
But when we find out, in my old life, I was a social worker, we find out that people miss school for a lot of reasons.
Yes.
Things like not having laundry detergent to do their clothes.
Right.
And definitely for young ladies, if you're having your menstrual cycle, you don't want to be at school and have an accident, and then you got to deal with the bullying and the embarrassment from all of that.
Right.
And we take for granted. Feminine hygiene products are expensive.
Very.
You know, it's not like something you can go and get at the Dollar Tree for $1.
Yes, ma'am.
And so if people have budget restraints, then those things, you know, it's extra when you're just struggling to pay for food.
Yes, ma'am.
So how did you go about collecting these? I know you had a big campaign push, so you were boots on the ground, social media. How did you do it?
So first, I wanted to start a social media campaign so I could get all of my followers engaged and my parents' followers engaged. I chose to use their platforms because they have a large following, and I was trying to reach that older crowd who could financially support me, because my crowd, they supported me in different ways than financially. So I started there on the social media platform, then I got a date together and we all met and collected the items, and then I distributed them to different centers around the community.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
So when did you put this together? Was it something that just came to you one day? Was it a school project? Was it a part of that extended outreach ministry? Because we're going to get to that, that you've grown up doing with your family, kind of like just born into that. But how did you come up with that?
So last summer I worked at the Valley Rescue Women's Center.
Did you?
Yes, ma'am. And I noticed that a lot of clothes were coming in, but not once did I see a feminine hygiene product. So I talked to my mom and I was like, I want to do something to help these ladies in my community. So I decided that I was going to give people feminine hygiene products because they're so expensive, and there's a tax on tampons and pads that causes them to be way more expensive than what they need to be. And periods are inevitable. Like, you have to have one if you're a lady. So I felt the need to give back to women because you have to have pads and tampons.
Amazing. Taxes.
Yes, ma'am.
They are taxed items.
Yes, ma'am.
See, I never even thought of that. So I just learned something from you. You're never too old to learn something. Never thought about that. Because once you add on the taxes, then the price is even higher.
Yes, ma'am.
Didn't realize that you worked at the shelter.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so that was what launched you.
Yes.
Yeah, because I know all your life you have been working in the ministry with your parents.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's how you came up with the concept. So how is your school? Is your school supporting you? Because I know you do a lot at school. You're in so many different things. You're traveling all over the country. That's why I had to get on your calendar to get you here. You were not available on the first date. So is the school supporting you? How do they feel about that?
Yes, I attend Northside High School, and they are very supportive of me. I recently joined DECA, and I competed in the state competition where I placed 6th overall out of around 70 people.
Really?
And so, yes, ma'am, my marketing teacher, Emily Sire, she actually has helped me to develop Point Blank Period into something bigger than what I thought it was going to be. Yes, ma'am.
So you've competed on a regional or national level?
Regional, yes, ma'am.
Regional,
and state. Yes,
right.
ma'am.
And so out of 70 people,
I placed 6th.
you placed 6th. Isn't that something?
Yes, ma'am.
So people came from other states?
No, it was just the Georgia State.
Oh, okay. In other,
around
159 counties.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
you're competing with people from 159 counties?
Yes, ma'am.
Really? And you were 6th?
Yes.
That is amazing. Yeah, so I want you to think about where you're going to take this from this point.
Okay.
You've gone all over the state of Georgia. You've competed. But this is a global.
Yes.
So I want to know how you're going to move us from where we are now with this to the next level. And we're going to go to our sponsors, and I want you to think about it. And I know you're smart. You already got that answer. I can see it in your eyes.
Yes.
But I just want to give you a few minutes. So we're going to go to our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Straightforward is brought to you by Chalk by Quincy introduces Excellence Redefined, timepieces of the finest technology, luxury, and class with tons of style at chalklifestyle.com. Renal Associates LLC, a team of physicians dedicated to excellent kidney care with 5 convenient locations to serve you: Stark Avenue, Columbus; Bradley Park Drive, Columbus; Lafayette Parkway, LaGrange; West Washington Street, Eufaula; and Spring Street in Warm Springs. Vanessa Jackson's District 3 Successful Scholars Program, supporting students in achieving academic excellence, outstanding citizenship, positive social and cultural growth, believing in success for kids.
How do I take the 2020 census? In March 2020, every address in the country will receive an invitation to complete a simple questionnaire. And there are 3 ways to respond. Number 1, do it online. Number 2, call by phone. Number 3, send it by mail. For those who don't respond, a census taker from your community will follow up and assist you. Shape your future. Start here. Visit 2020census.gov.
Walmart's reason for supporting Thurgood Marshall College Fund is simple. We like to win. And we have been given a lot of exposure to some incredible talent. And we also believe that it's a part of our responsibility to the community to give back. This is a great opportunity to do both. It's been a wonderful experience for us through the years. We've appreciated our partnership. We believe in return on investment, and we have definitely had a remarkable return.
I'm Drew Brees, and being a dad means the world to me. And one of the most important things any parent can do is make sure their kids get active at least 60 minutes each day. Studies show that physical activity not only helps kids stay healthy, it can enhance important skills like concentration and problem solving, which can improve academic performance. This means physical activity can help your kids in the most important game of all, life.
Welcome back to Straightforward. I'm continuing this great conversation with the awesome Charity Hardnett from Point Blank Period.
Yes, ma'am.
So, how did we get the name?
So, period has kind of been hot. Like, a lot of people are saying it like point blank period, like
Right.
I want this or I want that. So I was like, this is something hot, this is something fresh that people are going to jump on and support. So I decided to name it point
So
blank
it was
period.
trendy.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So that was really smart because it ties into what the mission is.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, ladies and their periods. So where do we go from here? We've done the 159 counties of Georgia. You have made an impact, and I saw you on other media outlets, so I know it was successful. You changed lives, you gave people hope. That's all people need sometimes.
Yes, ma'am.
So where do you go from here? What's the next thing?
So from here, I plan to expand into the different states around Georgia. So Alabama is next on my list. I want to impact the ladies of Phoenix City as well, and then maybe we can spread further from Alabama. And also, I have in mind to send a few products across to Africa or India
Really?
or something like that. Yes, ma'am.
Into
to
other
impact,
countries?
Yes, ma'am, because those ladies, America is very impoverished, but those ladies in those less developed countries are also very impoverished, more than we think.
Right, and I'm glad that you said that. Some of us are very comfortable in our lifestyle, and a lot of the things that we take for granted, all we have to do is just drive a few miles across town
Yes, ma'am.
and find out that just because we are living comfortable like that, that's not necessarily the case
Right.
for others.
Yes, ma'am.
And by your working with the Valley Rescue Mission, you were able to see.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's not just, you know, people that don't want to do better. Life and circumstances has caused people to
Right.
be in situations. And I do know that we have a lot of women and children that are homeless.
Right.
And I do know of a case where a lady had a job and a car, and she and her child, they were sleeping in the car at a school at night so she could go to her job, and when it was time to take the child to the daycare, she could do that.
Yes,
And they were actually living out of their car, and she had a job. So a lot of times what we see on the media is not fair. It's
Right.
not accurate, and things can happen to people. We're all just one illness, you know, one life circumstance away from things happening to us.
Right.
Right. And so you're going to start over in Alabama, in Phoenix City.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know you have family connections there.
Yes.
Church family connections.
Yes, ma'am.
And so you're going to reach out that way and through the schools as well.
Yes, ma'am. I know a lady that works at Central High School, and so I've been supplying her with some items so she can give to her students who are impoverished at Central. We find a lot of girls in the school who are impoverished in all around Columbus and in Phoenix City, so I just want to make an impact that way through the school.
Okay, so the school is the
main
vehicle,
outlet.
the
Yes,
main
ma'am.
vehicle. Okay, so your whole life, boy, your grandparents, your parents, uncles, aunts, your whole family, you
Yes,
just born into the ministry. You
Yes.
kind of didn't even have a choice, did
Right.
you?
I didn't.
So from day one, you've actually been out, as we would say, in the vineyard,
Yes, ma'am.
doing things to change lives.
Yes, ma'am.
So your parents are the founder of, what's the church?
New Destiny Church.
New Destiny Church. And you all do so much all the time.
Yes, ma'am.
The thing that I like about your dad is he's like, no, I don't want the VIPs on the front.
Right.
I want the people that are struggling with substance abuse and they've had life challenges to sit down front.
Yes, ma'am.
No VIPs. You know how some places we go, all the quote unquote important people sit up front, but I always like when he says that.
Yes, ma'am.
What are some of the things you all have done in the church's ministry?
So we've given away gas, we've given away clothes, we've given away groceries, but next on our list is actually to have a citywide Easter celebration. So we will be holding this at Carver High School in the back area, and there will be bouncy houses, food. We just want the community to come out and celebrate Easter the right way. And we want to have an impact on the children in the community as well, because in that Carver area, a lot of people are impoverished. And so I plan to give away some hygiene products there to the women that come out, and if they need them, they can greatly have them.
And you're absolutely right. That's the community that we grew up in. Of course, your grandmother and all of the other sisters, the four of us, we all graduated from Carver. And so we have from one thing to the other just in that community. Once upon a time, there were some apartments down the hill from Carver. Of course, they've gotten rid of those, but a lot of folks lived there, really did not have the basic things that they needed to survive.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you all were giving away the free gas, that was just something.
Right.
So how did that work? It was you all randomly, people could just drive up, you picked a Saturday, they didn't have to pay. I mean, it was just the buzz of the city.
Right.
Right.
So we just picked a Saturday to do it, and people could just randomly drive up and we would fill their gas tank for them.
And that helps families get to and from work.
Yes, ma'am.
Doctor's appointments and things like that.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were very young when you all first started doing that.
Yes.
You were always on duty.
Yes, yes. I was on the front line.
Right, you're on the front line. You didn't get a chance to just hang out at Chuck E. Cheese. You had to be there.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you all did another one that was amazing at Church's Chicken.
Yes.
And so you all were at various Church's Chicken locations all over town, and people would just show up and get free food, and you all were paying for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
We had a great impact on the city with that, because sometimes it's hard to find a meal for you and your family. So we felt the need to just step out in the community and to help those who needed a meal that day. The city is just very impoverished. We're well over the national average of poverty. And so we're a very giving church, and we believe that if you come as you are, you won't leave the same, and we believe in being a blessing to others.
Wow, they've trained you so well. I know the angels are smiling. No, really, because it's the spirit.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, people sometimes when they do ministry, they want the cameras. You know, I know that you all do things when the cameras are not around.
Yes.
I was having lunch in Popeye's Chicken one day and was talking to the young lady that took my order. Did not know that the church, you all had helped her with her child at Christmas time.
Yes, the Christmas.
And so I was happy, I was proud to tell her that your father was my nephew, and I sent him a message to let him know that she was very thankful, because we take for granted a lot of things, and we see people working in fast food restaurants. They are great people.
Right.
But if you're trying to do everything off of the minimum wage, something is
hard.
It's really hard. It's really impossible with rent and transportation and utilities, and if you have children and all of that. And so you're absolutely right. The census data backs that up about the poverty numbers.
Yes, ma'am.
And so that is where your focus is.
Yes, ma'am.
And so if you give them a hand up, then they can go forward as well.
Yes.
All right. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our final break. When we come back, I want to hear, because I know you have great plans for college. I want to know what those plans are.
Yes, ma'am.
And what we can expect.
Right. Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
All right. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Straightforward is brought to you by Warrior Outreach. Contact Command Sergeant Major Retired Sam Rhodes or Kathy Rhodes. The Hugel Foundation, enriching the community through Christian music support, community outreach, and the Georgia Through Photography Project. For more information, call B at 706-568-6431. Progressive Funeral Home, family owned and operated since 1952. The George Ford legacy of high standards continues today in the compassionate and professional services provided. A touch of dignity for those who care. Progressive Funeral Home, 4235 St. Mary's Road, trusted by generations. East Alabama Endocrinology, educating and caring for those living with diabetes in Alabama and Georgia. 1400 Bradley Lake Boulevard, 3320 Skyway Drive, Suite 602, Opelika. Take charge of diabetes and live your best life. State Senator Ed Harbison, serving the citizens of Georgia's 15th Senatorial District and on the front line for veterans every day. Welcome back to Straightforward. I'm continuing this conversation with the amazing Charity Hardnett. You are simply just all of that. I mean, I could not ask for anything else. As they say on the street, you the total package.
Thank you.
Beauty, brilliant, kind, wonderful spirit, great energy.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know you're going to do great things. Where are we going to college? What's the plan? Because I know you can major in anything you want to major in because you are a scholar.
Yes, ma'am.
Excellence is what you strive for, all A's, all that stuff. So I already know, because your dad was smart, your grandmother was very smart. So you have that rich legacy.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
where are we going to go when we leave Columbus?
So
we have to leave Columbus.
Yes, we
okay.
have to.
All right.
I've been considering a few Ivy League schools and also a few PWIs.
What's a PWI?
A predominantly white institution.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And so I want to do that because I feel that it will prepare me for life outside of school. And so I plan on majoring in law.
Wonderful.
Yes, ma'am. I want to major in law. And I've been looking at Brown University, and they have a very good law program.
Oh, yes. Brown is very good.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So that's Charity's plan. I don't know how that's going to work. You're an only child. I don't know how that's going to work for your grandfather.
He will be
Because he's
upset.
kind of been your road team for a very long time.
Yes,
Soccer
ma'am.
games, everything that you're doing, he's always rocking with you. That's kind of a long way, Brown.
Yes, ma'am.
From Muskogee County.
Yes.
So are you preparing him for that? I don't think he's going to be ready.
I hope that he's ready because, I mean, I feel as if it's something that I need to do to be successful in life. I want to have the best education so I can ensure that my life will be set. Yes, ma'am.
And independently.
Yes, ma'am.
And so when you marry, you will not be marrying for someone to take care of you. You will be bringing your own things to the table.
Yes, ma'am.
And if that table is not well prepared, then you can make a choice.
Right.
Exactly. So that's how we roll.
Yes, ma'am.
That's how we roll.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. And so with Brown, you've looked at it. When will you start applying? Because I know you were a junior.
A sophomore.
Sophomore.
Yes,
oh, my
ma'am.
goodness, you're doing all of this at 10th grade.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. And I know your grades are excellent, so you won't have any problem with getting that money.
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
So I want to go on a soccer scholarship. I play soccer up in Atlanta for Concord Fire, and I just want to have that financial aid as well as the academic financial aid to get there and to be successful.
Well, that's what your dad had.
Yes,
he
ma'am.
had athletic and academic
Yes,
scholarship.
ma'am.
Yes, he did. So in addition to being a minister, he has those credentials, but he has a bachelor's, a master's,
Yes.
a real estate broker. I mean, he's all those things.
Yes.
So, I mean, the bar is really high, but I mean, you've exceeded. You have exceeded.
I hope so. I have no choice but
You
to.
have no choice. I know, right? It's like, no, it's homework time.
Yes.
Yes. So with Brown, will you be coming back to this area? You're going to launch somewhere else? What do you plan to do once you become a lawyer? Because I know you will become that, and I just hope I live to see it. I pray that I will, and I'm claiming it. So
I haven't decided where I want to be yet. I feel as if once I get the feel for a few areas, I'll decide where I want to settle down at and be for the rest of my life.
right. So you are looking to leaving the area. But
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
okay, because you have to leave to grow.
Yes.
That's not to say that the people that stay here, that, that's bad. But the world is bigger, and then you're able to broaden your horizons.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay, so what's your words of wisdom for other young people? There are so many distractions in the world now. You do so many things. You're traveling and doing soccer. You make excellent grades. You're working in the ministry full-time with your parents. I mean, you're helping with the technology, the outreach. I mean, you are really every woman, as Oprah, would say, you're every woman. And then you have your own outreach.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
I mean, my words to the youth is just don't follow the crowd, follow God, because sometimes the crowd will lead you in the wrong spot. And I mean, a few times in life, we all find ourselves in the wrong spot because we follow what we think is popular, but God will always lead us to the right spot.
So is that the training that you've had from the womb, probably?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
From the womb, because your grandfather's a minister, many of your uncles, your aunt, your mom, your dad, your grandparents work in the church.
Yes,
I mean,
ma'am.
it's a part of your daily life.
Right.
Right. And the thing I like about the church family where you are is not about who pays the most money.
Right.
You all are really trying to reach the people that's broken, that's lost, that's hurt. You're really trying to change lives.
My dad always says we want the people who are nasty. because we want to clean them and let them know that they are loved so we can build them to be the person that God has called them to be.
Really? So that is the
motto.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so we are looking forward to Easter.
Yes.
And it's open to the public.
April 11th at noon. Yes, ma'am.
And it's no charge, as
No,
always, free. And it's a good, safe place where people can come
As a family.
and feel loved and welcome and nurtured.
Yes, ma'am.
and just really have a wonderful time of fellowship
Yes.
and love. Okay, now tell us where the church is. Give your dad and mom's name, how people can reach them, because some of our viewers might not have a church home.
Right.
And I know the doors are always open there. When you walk in, everybody, I mean, you all are going to have a hard time with that, not showing love, because you walk
Yes.
through that door, everybody is
It's a
loving
hug.
on you. Yes, yes, they want you to know that you really are welcome.
Okay.
So share that information in case someone either wants to watch you all online or if they want to visit.
So my parents are Quinn and Denitra Hardnett, and they are the founders of New Destiny Church, and we are located at 1726 Boxwood Place, and that's around from the Columbus Public Library. And we do worship on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and worship on Sundays at 10 a.m. You can find us on Facebook at New Destiny Church. We stream our services live, and that's what we'll be doing this Wednesday and Sunday due to the pandemic that has affected our community. And we're a very loving church, and we believe in giving back to the community, and this not being able to hug people and love on people, it is affecting us because we want you to feel welcome in our arms.
Always. Well, I just want you to know how very proud I am, and I do know that the angels are smiling. You have more than checked every box.
Thank you.
Excellence, beauty, humble, giving, serving, all of that. It really means something. And we are expecting great, wonderful things. We have to start praying for your grandfather.
Yes.
Because he has to start making his adjustment. Because the time will come very quickly.
2 years.
And it won't be that long because we're almost to the end of the sophomore year.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you have to start preparing. And then I guess he can start saving up his money so he can travel back and forth.
Yes.
So he can keep up with you.
Yes.
But he was a great support to me when I was at Albany State. He was a truck driver then, and he would come on campus with the big Tom Houston 18-wheeler bringing cookies. So he was well known at Albany State too. It's like, oh, the Tom's truck is here. But anyway, no, I know that he will be supporting you, your family. You have a great support system, and your church family.
Yes, ma'am.
So we thank you so much. We'll be keeping up with you, and we'll have to have you back.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you. This has been straightforward. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Until next time, be blessed.